Hi, it's Barry from Sunken Railroad, and today I'm going to talk about Z-scale cars provided from Märklin. There's a few kits that are out there. There's the 8904, which has 12 cars, and then there is the 8903, which is some industrial cement mixer and a dump truck and some vans. Whoops. And then there is the old 8952. Märklin cars, if you look at some of the earlier ones, were really just molded rubber. And then they came up with these cars. I've actually already painted the hubcaps on these in some detail. But in order to do this, you're going to need not a lot of tools. I don't over think these when I paint them. I mean, you can do what you want. You're going to need some magnifying glasses. I like this unit here, which is a magnifying headset, which I wear. And then, quite simply, you're going to need some very thin paint brushes, some 000s and quad zeros, in order to be able to just paint some of the small details. You can get those at Michael's. And then a little tiny bit of glue and some Tester's paint. There's two kinds of paint. There's enamel paint, which is this, or you can use acrylic paint, which is water-based, which is I like it for landscape. It's easier to work with an airbrush than an enamel, especially the cleanup. So I spent a little bit of time with both. I don't mix them. I paint one, let it dry, and then do another. I got a couple of other things here that I think are exciting. I've got some 3D printed models that I'm going to paint as well. I've got this switcher locomotive, which is right now this is a similar one, and it's in front of the Göppingen station, which is, I'm going to paint that red to match and put it in front of my station. There we go. And the other thing I have is I have what is arguably the world's smallest Batmobile. This was made by Tuggus Z-Scale. I'll put a link. He does 3D printing, and I asked him for this, and he didn't charge me a lot of money. And this is a very, very accurate little model. I almost don't want to handle it, and it's got Batman in it. No Robin. I guess I'll have to put Robin standing next to it. So my dad was always into Batman, so I thought I'd do a little Z-Scale to give you an idea how big this is. Here's a Hot Wheel, just to give you the idea of the scale. So this is like a pretty standard kind of Hot Wheel size to show you how big this Batmobile really is. It's super tiny, but it works with the other vehicles. It's the same scale. It's 1 to 220. And also he sent me a really cool barbecue, which I'm going to paint up as well. And then I've got this Formula One car, which he sent me as well, which was, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but it's a little tiny Formula One car. So I'm going to paint that up at some point. So this is my what I'm going to do. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is paint some of these vans. And I'm holding my phone in front of me on a stand, so hopefully you can see me do this. They come bagged, and there's really only 3 parts. There is the chassis, the van body, and the there's the chassis, the van body, and then the windshield parts. And that's really it. And then all you do when you're done is glue them together. So the cement mixer and the dump truck chassis is kind of a grayish color. It's maybe hard to see in my phone, but it's a light gray. Whereas the van's chassis is black. So the first thing you're going to want to do really is put the hubcaps. I like to just do them all silver. Now it looks a little bit sloppy when you zoom in on it, but I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to do the hubcaps first. I'm going to come in and do the tires afterwards. So get my paintbrush, get some silver. This is going to be the Model Master Silver Chrome trim. Now you don't need a lot of paint to do this. You really just want to do what's inside the wheel cover. I find that the better brushes lay the paint down a little bit better than the cheaper brushes. I always spend a little bit of extra money on brushes. These brushes are about $7 or $8 at Michael's. And I'll come by later and touch this up if I missed a spot. So I'm not super worried about that. Now let's do the body. This has a couple of chrome pieces on it. It's got basically the grille right there. It's obviously a Mercedes. And you just want to kind of wash it over it. You don't want to put too much paint here. And what you can do, what I like to do is I just like to wipe the brush off to get the paint flowing. You don't need a lot. Do the marker lights. Do the door handles. Maybe later I'll add some advertising to the back. I'll buy some water stickers or something that'll add something cool to it. That's really it. That's the whole thing right there. So let that guy dry. I'm not going to paint the body. It's all right if it's gray. There's 2 gray ones. And then really the last thing you need to do is just glue them together. I'm going to do the black paint now. Enamel paint cleans up with Testors makes this brush cleaner right here. You don't want the paint to dry out in the brushes. It's a great way to ruin the brush. Looks reasonably decent. So here's the car's 8904. Pretty basic, right? Looks like you get some sort of a Volkswagen, a Mercedes-Benz, and a BMW. Very nice collection of German vehicles. Let's see what we got here. Those are station wagons. Those are sedans. More sedans. And more sedans. So 1 package of station wagons and 3 packages of sedans. That is a BMW. 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 I guess 3. There's your Mercedes. Okay. What are these guys? These look like Mercedes. These are like Volkswagen Scirocco's or something like that. I don't know what they call them in Germany, but in the United States they were Scirocco's. These are sort of early 80s, late 70s cars. So let's do the BMWs. Yeah, I'm not going to go nuts on these. I'm just going to do the hubcaps. Put this guy together. We'll see what he looks like. So I'm going to do the bumper silver and do the grills, I guess black with a little silver. I don't know. Yeah. If you put just the right amount of paint in, it just sort of wicks into the right space. So it's not a lot of retouching on this guy. I guess once you do 12 of them, you get pretty good at it. Now we're ready to glue the cars together. You have to be careful when you glue these because this plastic material will absorb the glue and it will fog it and it will look really bad. So you want to really minimize the amount of glue you're going to use. Make sure you get the orientation right of the elements. I can tell that's the windshield side. Drop in right like that. And you just want to put a dab of glue right here and right there. Same thing on the vans. I'm going to put just a touch of it right in the center. It shouldn't affect the window. This is angled more. One side slightly more angled, and you can see there's a little sunroof here. So you want to make sure that sunroof is oriented to the sunroof in the body of the vehicle. There we go.